This is question 4 from the higher level paper 1 from the 2020 Leaving Cert maths paper. Up the top right of the screen you'll find a card that will bring you to the playlist that has all my solutions to the questions in this paper. And below the video you'll find a link to an image of this question so you can try it before looking at the rest of the solution. In this question they give us an image of two graphs here. Fx is the cubic shaped graph and gx is the line here. At least it looks, they confirm that it's a line later in the question. And they ask us a couple of questions about this. The first question, part A, tells us that f prime x, that's the derivative of f, when x is equal to 3, is equal to minus 12. And they want us to find k. In fact, they tell us k is equal to minus 9. When they do this in a question, I like to just sort of ignore it. I like to imagine it's not there, because really what they're asking us is to find k. But they're helping us that they're telling us the answer so we can double check. It's very rare that you should use this when you're doing your question. More you should use it to check your answer. Okay, so we'll ignore that it's there for the moment. So how do we do this question? They tell us the derivative at 3 is equal to minus 12. What is k? Well, if they're asking us about the derivative, let's find out what the more general derivative is. So f prime x. So here's fx here. If we differentiate that, we get 3x squared plus 2kx plus 15. That's the derivative of fx. They're also telling us that when we put 3 in, we get minus 12. So we can do that. Let me do it up here. When I put 3 into this, we get 3 times 3 squared plus 2 times k times 3 plus 15, and they're telling us this is equal to minus 12. That's enough to solve it. Look at this equation. There's only one thing I don't know. I can just play around with it until I get k equals something. So let's go ahead and do this. This is 9 times 3 is 20. You know, let's do it faster than that. Let's do out the k part here. 2 times 3 is 6. 6k is equal to minus 12 minus 15. That'll come across. This here will be 27. It'll turn into minus 27. So we're left with 6k is equal to, I put this in a calculator. I won't try to use my brain too much, but they're all minus, so just add them all together and we should get minus 54. K is equal to minus 54 divided by 6, which is minus 9. Which, okay, now we should look at this and say, okay, good, I was right. If you get a different number here than this, I'd suggest try it again. Try the question again. Not spend your whole exam doing it, but I'd give it one more go. Find the mistake. Or come back to it at the end of your exam, see if you can find it. Because the reason they give us these answers is we can do the second part of the question with the correct answer, no matter what. Even if you got it wrong, you can do the second part, or part B in this case, with the correct number. So for part B, let's, I think I'll need a bit more room, so I'll go ahead and rub some of this out. I'll keep this line here, fx is equal to all of this, but instead of k, I'm going to put in minus 9. So in part B, they tell us that the function gx, what we suspected, it is a line, it's a straight line, and it actually passes through the two turning points. That's the lowest point here and the highest point here. It passes through those 2 points, through the two turning points of fx, which is, they rewrite for us with k is minus 9. And they want us to find the equation for gx. So that should be quite easy. To find the equation of a line, all we need is 2 points. So this is how I would think of this question. They ask me for a line, equation of a line. Right, I need 2 points, or I need a slope and 1 point. Okay, so now how do I get 2 points on gx? Well, again, the question tells me 2 points happen at these turning points. Okay, so now I think to myself, how do I find the turning points? So that's how I step through the question like that. So what I've reduced it down to now is finding the two turning points of fx. So how do we find the turning points? Turning points happen when the derivative is equal to 0. So again, I'm going to need the derivative. I already had it with a k in it, but let's do it once more. But if I hadn't rubbed it out, I could have just copied it and changed the k. And the derivative of this is 3x squared. Derivative of this is minus 18x. That's the one bit that's different. We had, I think, 2 times k. 2 times k is minus 18 plus 15. And we now know that this is equal to 0. So if we put this equal to 0, and we just need to solve this. So we can solve this, let's see, divide everything by 3 will help. Minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. And then, yeah, we can just factorize this. This is a straightforward one. Let's see, 2 numbers that multiply to get 5 and add or take away to get 6. Or 2 numbers that multiply to get x squared first, x and x. 5 and 1 will work for the others, and they both need to be minus. So we're left with x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 5. I always try and make sense. If they've given you a picture or a real life situation, try and check if your maths make sense. You don't have to put it all the way back in and check everything, although that's a good idea. And put these numbers back into this equation and see if they do equal 0. But it's also nice to check the picture. X equals 1. Yeah, that looks like it could be 1. X equals 5. That looks like it could be 5. If you've got some numbers here like minus 7 and well, actually, only minus would disqualify something here. The picture clearly shows they're both positive numbers. So this does make sense. But we still need the entire point. X is 1, I need y. That's fine, because this is y, fx is y. So we just need to put both these numbers into this equation. So f1 is equal to, let's see, 1 minus 9 plus 15 plus 8. I'd do that in a calculator, but I guess we can do it in our head right now. 8 plus 15 is 23, plus 1 is 24. 24 minus 9 is 15. So there's our first point, 115. Again, that makes sense. It's above the line. It's looking okay for the picture at least. Next one, I'm going to need to use my calculator, I'm afraid. I can't do this in my head too easily. F of 5, we need 5 cubed minus 9 multiplied by 5 squared plus 15 times 5 plus 8. Now I'll just check my notes instead of using a calculator, and I'll get y is equal to minus 15, or here's the point, 5 minus, 17 I should be saying, which again makes sense. This one looks like the maximum, this one looks like the minimum. They both roughly look like they're in the correct point, so you can start to feel a little happy that you're on the right track here. Now to find gx, we just need to find the equation of the line satisfies these. There's a couple of ways to do it. You could start with the equation of a line, y is equal to mx plus c, and fit both these numbers in, get a simultaneous equation, and solve it that way. As this is Irish exam, I'll do it the way we're more commonly done in Ireland. We use the equation of a line, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Problem with this way is we need m. So let's do that over on the side somewhere. We get m is equal to the formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Let's do that. That's 15 minus 17 divided by 1 minus 5, which is equal to, that's 32 divided by minus 4, which is equal to minus 8. Fill this in, we get y, pick whichever one, I'll pick this one. Y minus 15 is equal to minus 8 times x minus 1. And that's actually finished, that's the equation of a line. We don't usually leave it this way. I would rather see it one line deeper, but this should be full marks. But let's clean it up. I like to leave a y equals minus 8x and then all the numbers. So let's see, minus 8, that's plus 8, plus another 15 is plus 23. And that's the equation of the line. That's part B answered. I double check this again by putting both these numbers in. Pardon me. Put 15 in, put 1 in, see if it adds up. It does. This one you might need a calculator just to double check it, see if it adds up. Same, see if it fits on these ones. Always double check your work if you can. Okay, so for part C, let's see what we need to do and see what I need to rub out. Show that the graph of gx contains the point of inflection. Point of inflection somewhere around here, looks roughly like it does. That's the point where it stops going getting smaller. So its slope is getting smaller, its slope is getting smaller, its slope is getting smaller, slope's getting smaller. At some point around here, the slope starts getting bigger, starts curling back up. So how do we find the point of, because that's what we need to do here. We need to find the point of inflection. What I'll do is I'll rub out some of this. I'll leave this line here. I'll rub all this out and we'll do that question, part C on the board. Okay, I've kept gx here. I have y equals, maybe we'll just rewrite that as gx. Gx equals this. And we have the first derivative. To get the point of inflection, we need to find the second derivative. So let's get that right now. The second derivative is 2 times 3 is 6x minus 8d. This disappears. And to find the point of inflection, it's the point where the second derivative is equal to 0. So it's where 6x minus 8d is equal to 0. If we rearrange this, we'll get x is equal to 8d divided by 6, which is 3. And then we need to find out what the point is. So we know x is 3. We need to know what y is. So I need the first equation here. I need to put 3 into this. 3 cubed minus 9 times 3 squared. Put all that into a calculator, and I'm just going to look at my notes here very subtly and hopefully find it. You will find that f of 3 is equal to minus 1. So this is the point here. 3 minus 1. That's the point of inflection. Let's put that in, point of inflection. I'll just write it like that. So we just need to check, is that on this line? Is g of 3 hopefully equal to minus 1? G of 3 is equal to minus 8 times 3 plus 23. That's minus 24 plus 23 is equal to minus 1. Which is the same point as this. That means this point is on this. So you could write something like, therefore 3 minus 1 is on gx. Therefore point of inflection. Yeah, I wouldn't write this. I'd write point of inflection. I'm just lazy. Point of inflection is on gx. Either of these is fine. Probably just showing this is enough for them. You don't need to write an essay. You don't need to be as succinct as I am. You don't need to be as short as I am, or it doesn't need to be very long. You just need to show something that you understand it. The examiner will be very understanding on the last bits here. Okay, I think that answers everything. If you have any follow-up questions, anything I got wrong, anything you're not sure on, please put a question in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for watching and have a great day.